Thank you, Jay. Everyone, my name is Eric Botcher. I represent Council District 3 in the City Council, which is the Village, Chelsea, and Hell's Kitchen. And I am here with my constituents to denounce this sham hearing, this stunt hearing that is about one thing and one thing only: obstructing a criminal investigation. This is obstruction of a criminal investigation. When you hear Republicans talk about patriotism and love of country, they talk about patriotism. How patriotic is it? That's such hatred of the Constitution and due process of law. It's a hatred of due process of criminal investigation, hatred of the criminal, hatred of the transfer of power.
Oh, we got a winner over here.
And Jim Jordan and the Republicans was serious about the rule of law and about public safety.
We got a cult member on the right. Be careful.
In this country,
don't worry, it's not contagious.
This week,
just don't have to be an idiot.
Every day this week there's been mass shootings around the country. And they're here in New York City talking about public safety. In New York City, we have a murder rate that's 3 times lower.
As usual, Republicans don't know how to behave themselves.
A murder rate that's twice.
Of course, there's always one, that doesn't know how to act. That's how they are, Republicans. They don't know how to behave. They act like toddlers that need their diaper changed.
There's an opportunity to make this case in front of a jury, and this needs to be training. I have the burden of proving this case in front of a jury. That's how this country works. That's how our justice system is designed to work. But Republicans want to usurp our justice system. They want to obstruct this trial. They're speaking out against it. They're speaking out in favor of fair process, due process. That's what this trial, this hearing today.
Incredible. Somebody just yelled trans sucks.
Obstruct.
Just like, Nazis vilified their targeted minority groups. Republicans have their assaults on human beings.
Shame! Thanks to all of you for being here and speaking out for our country for what's right.
Above the law. Not above the law. Not above the law. Not above the law. Not above the law. We have some chimpanzees trying to get into the hearing.
I'm with them.
We will name, blame, and shame anyone who goes against guns. I will say this because we need a joke here too. Schumer, if you want my $5, you go and you hold an actual count. You put everyone on the line to say ban assault weapons now. Have their names who say no, have their names who are with us, hold them accountable. You want so much power, use it. Hold these senators accountable.
Maybe I'll go around the other side so I can see them. Just walking around the other side.
There's a Bloomberg.
We got the chimpanzees on patrol. We got the anti-gay assholes over here.
One thing is that when we talk about gun violence in this country, we cannot talk about it without talking about white supremacy and the way that guns are funneled into communities of color, the way that gun violence is higher in communities of color because of a host of issues that directly stem from white supremacy. 2 days ago, a 16-year-old black boy was supposed to pick up his younger siblings from a play date. He got the wrong house. Okay? He didn't know which house his siblings were at. He rang the doorbell of the wrong house. The white man who lived in that house in Kansas City shot Ralph Yarl through his glass screen door.
Just shot
in
him.
the
Just
head.
standing there.
After this 16-year-old boy had fallen to the ground and was bleeding out, the owner of that house shot him again.
Lock him up.
Police in Kansas City took that homeowner in for questioning and then released him with no charges. That is shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
And Jim Jordan's party is the party that wants you to ignore that. Jim Jordan's party is the one that wants to dismiss any attempt at dealing with the insidious white supremacy that suffuses this country, that deals with the homophobia, with the transphobia that is across this nation that's leading to hundreds and hundreds of laws in state houses. Wants to dismiss all of that as wokeness. Where I come from, woke simply means being awake to systemic discrimination and inequities in our country, and I am proud to be woke AF.
Woo!
Are we all woke AF?
Yes.
That's right. I'm going to call up my friend who is as woke AF as you can be and is one of the best dressers in the gun violence prevention movement. See, that's how I tipped her off. She heard me say that, and she knew she was coming up and had to get her bag on straight with that. Dr. Sunny Moon!
Hi, everybody. So I'm a volunteer for Gays Against Guns, and I'm also a volunteer for Monster Hand Action. I just wanted to just talk about hypocrisy, okay, and irony, because those two words no longer have meaning, okay? On my way here, my friend said, oh, there's some person carrying a sign that says something anti-Semitic about George Soros. Wait till I wanted to say Jim Crow. Oh, my God. Wait until Jim Jordan finds out about Harlan Crow.
Really?
Oh, my God. Talk about a rich billionaire corrupting our justice system.
Yeah.
Wait till he finds out about that. Also, I used to live in Ohio. I now live in New York. I also lived in Louisiana. So I've lived in red states. Wait until Jim Crow Jordan finds out about Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati all having higher violent crime rates and higher property crime rates. And what one big factor is, it's the guns.
Yep.
It is the guns. What Jim Crow Jordan is actually really here to say is, I'm really pissed off that you're prosecuting this rich white guy for a crime, and you are not arresting enough brown and black people for petty crime. To Jim Jordan, that's what fighting crime means. Ignoring white crime, white-collar crime, and persecuting black, brown people for crimes that are petty. That's what this is about. Because if he really cared about crime, he'll be in his home state. It is ridiculous that his own gym, his own backyard, his own schools. This is the height of hypocrisy and racism. And every single week, I have to explain to my 16-year-old son why, in the years that he's been alive, the Republican Party has only made gun violence worse. We have seen a rise in crime across the country
They want to
related
tear us
to the
apart.
corona pandemic. But you know what we also saw at the same time? The sale of guns has increased exponentially over the last 3 years because Jim Crow Jordan, and the Republican Party thrives on fear. Fear of black and brown people, fear that they can combat with the gun because they tell all these people that they are Rambo. Do not get taken by the sham show. We are New Yorkers. We love everybody except Jim Jordan most of the time. We want
We
you
want him
to know
to
that
tolerate
we
his
are
ass.
stronger together.
We
I'm
want
here
him
with
the hell
multiple
outta here.
organizations because we actually care about the people in New York City. Jim Jordan doesn't care about crime because if he did, he would care about January 6th. He would care about Harlan Crow. He would care about the increased crime in Ohio. He would care about the poor gym students that he ignored. And I always bring this up because
He's a
all
coward.
these issues are
They all are.
intersectional. The Republican Party is the party of death.
Yep.
There's no other way of saying it.
Yep.
Their fight to endanger reproductive health and women's health intersects with gun crime. Because you know what the number one killer of kids in this country are?
Guns.
Guns. It is so
Destroy.
much easier to care about a theoretical baby than actual children and actual families.
Well, we know
Because
that
you don't have to do anything except
criminalizing
show up to a
abortion
protest.
doesn't reduce
But if you want to
abortion
actually do something to protect children,
Just
you would
kills
make it
women.
harder for any idiot to get a gun, including the racist who shot Ralph Darl. That's what we should be outraged about. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey there, Winston on the chat. Hello, Susan.
All right,
Nice
so
to see ya.
thank you, Sonny. Yeah, that's right. We got to impeach Clarence Thomas. But we're going to talk about, well, we want to stick to what's going on with Jim Jordan
Where
in
is
this
he?
town.
Bring
And
his
what's
ass
going
out.
on with the Republican Party, the party of MAGA,
Party of death.
across the country, where they are going after anybody that is prosecuting Donald Trump,
They're
especially
furious.
if they're black.
Yes.
Especially if they're black. All right, they're going after them full bore. In Georgia, they're trying to kick Fani Willis out of office. Donald Trump called Tish James a racist animal the other day. They're going after
Projection.
our Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg every single day with every epithet and every lie that they can come up with. Only one they're not going after is Jack Smith because they're a little afraid of Jack Smith.
Right. I can't wait.
They're afraid of the white man, okay?
Yep.
With international connections. But since Gays Against
Hurry
Guns
up, Jack.
began, we have periodically highlighted and celebrated people of whatever gender as fierce queens in the fight that we are all in together, in the fights against gun violence and misogyny and homophobia and transphobia and gun violence again. And today we're going to announce 4 fantastic, fierce queens. Let them show 4 fantastic, fierce queens.
Yes.
All right.
Woo!
All right,
There you
man.
go.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
Yeah.
Special Prosecutor Jack Smith.
Yeah.
Our dear friend in Gays Against Guns, New York State Attorney General Tish James.
Yeah. Woo!
And the fierce and fabulous Fulton County DA, Ms. Fani Willis.
Yes.
All right. Because we started out talking about Jim Jordan. All right, but we got to end it up talking about Trump because he's why we're all here when it comes right down to it.
Lock him up.
He's the biggest fraud of them all.
Con man.
We in New York knew he was a fraud.
Yep.
That's why we didn't vote for him. That's why he
right.
lost his home state, his home city, his home borough, and the borough of his birth because New Yorkers know him best.
Yes.
And we drove him straight out of town.
Yep. New York hates him. New York hates him. New York hates him. New York hates him.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. We do. It's true. We always do.
We know him.
That's why he's never going to come back here, and that's why
To
his
know him is to hate him.
to a party anymore. Would anyone else from any of the other groups got gathered like to say a few words?
Come on.
Or lead some chants? All right. All right. Well, I'll turn it back over to Todd.
To be clear, this is a large fight from several different directions that have to be won. We have to be unified in understanding what defines this country. This country was built as the first self-governed nation that broke away from an empire on this planet. We are the first people to leave an empire and start our own country for people.
Yep.
However, it is very powerful, and men want that power, and they are holding us down to keep it.
Yep.
They're also holding down women and children, and those women and children are also being held down by armed citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That is starting to define this country. It certainly is to other nations. Is that who we want to be?
No.
Why? Because we want accountability. That's what this is about. Holding everyone accountable. If you make a mistake, you say you're sorry, you apologize, and you move on. That's not what they voted for. They voted for lies and fraud, and we are feeling the repercussions for years after, because men that are angry and have nowhere to lash out are attacking. People in this city are attacking activists and knocking them down on the streets because we have the courage to come out and say, no, these men are frauds.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if anyone in this city, state, country, or world is using their power of authority to hold someone down for their sexual pleasures, resign now. I don't care what you're here for. You know these men exist. Fox News knows they exist, but they still lie because they're frauds.
Yep.
What about Brock protecting sex traffickers?
Oh.
Do your
Yeah, go away. Notice how, look at the, looks like a terrorist. Right. Yep.
Bye, Felicia. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Felicia. Bye. Get your own permit. It looks like a
All right.
hostage note
Next.
clipped from newspapers. They always have like
Solomon
stream of
is here to speak.
consciousness,
From the
very
Public
scary
Advocate's
content,
Office.
vomiting the
everyone here,
contents
thank
of
you.
their brain. Which, that's what it looks like in their brain.
My name is
Confused,
Tarabuster. I'm a
disjointed.
public advocate for justice, health equity, and safety. I'm here on behalf of the public advocate, Jumani D. Williams, who cannot be here today. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
We're here today because we're talking about a situation of smoke screens, right? There's a problem in our country. In 2002, Michael Moore made a movie called Bowling for Columbine. Somebody remembered it. We have a problem in this country, and it's called guns. And people's access to guns is multiplying across our nation. And we're trying to figure out why we have Republicans here trying to smear a district attorney's policies around crime, when the real problem that we have in our country is not even being addressed. Guns and access to guns need to be limited. We need a ban on assault rifles.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why. On Friday, we met with ATF, and they were talking about the ways in which long-term legislation works. And they were horrified to hear that banning assault rifles only lasted 10 years. And they said that all that did was drive up the desire for assault rifles. So what do we do now when we're standing at a critical point in our nation, when we have to make a change? When we know that the leading cause of death for young people is guns? When we know that 60% of the people who die from guns in our country die because they killed themselves with guns? We have a problem to address in our nation, and it goes down to the root causes. Last year, our office released a paper on what is the root causes of gun violence in our city. Lack of lack of access to mental health,
Yep.
lack of resources in terms of food insecurity, lack of employment, lack of housing, lack of proper education. These are the basics that we need to take care of our country. But we rather protect guns than protect people. And that's why we're here today, to make sure that the people that are elected to represent us focus on the true issues at hand and stop trying to distract people with political agendas that line rich people's pockets. We're tired of that. And that's why we're standing here today. And I'm grateful to Gays Against Guns and all the groups that are standing with us to be able to make sure that we focus on the facts, that if we're going to save and change the children of this nation to be a generation that will actually bring harmony to this planet, it has to start now. It has to start by owning up to the fact that we have to be accountable to the truth. When Donald Trump was elected, when the Central Park 5 were framed, Donald Trump was the first person to put out an ad to try to have these young people railroaded, and they were. And here we are again. The flip is happening. Donald Trump is here, being lifted up in a way by people who are actually telling a false narrative. And so we have to expose that. And it starts today. And so, no justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Solomon Acevedo from the Public Advocate's Office. And I'm glad that he came. I'm glad that he brought up something that's really important, which is that for far too long, because of the fact that New York City is the media capital of the country and the world, perhaps, New York gets this reputation as having all this crime, because when a crime gets committed in New York, it gets reported and it gets picked up nationally and it gets blown out. But as several people have pointed out, our crime rate is lower than the national average. Our gun violence rate is lower than the national average. Our gun violence rate is one of the lowest among all of the big cities in this country. As a blue state, we are right in line with the other blue states who have smart gun laws. And smart gun laws lead to fewer gun owners, lead to fewer incidences of gun violence, and equal fewer gun violence deaths per capita. And that is what is the case in New York. So we need to hold our media accountable for not buying in to the lies that get told by politicians during election years to try to gin up fear and gin up votes. All right, thank you. Let's say, I'm going to give you that back to
Trump chimpanzees over here, and they.
This is what is most important to me to explain. I spent 20 years of my life in the United States Air Force. I'm a retired Master Sergeant. And gun safety in this country doesn't exist.
Exactly.
However, the people that are purchasing guns are told and telling themselves that they are our protectors.
Boo.
And I know what it's like to be charged with that authority. And they are failing. The problem is they refuse to register their names, they refuse training, and they refuse any accountability for murder. Because they can get away with not calling it murder because they can say it's self-defense. You are not helping the most vulnerable in this country. They are the ones that are suffering. So if you want to be a man or a gun owner, put your damn name next to the serial number and hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Then you get training. Then you lock the gun up.
Right.
And somebody creates some insurance for this.
Right.
Why the heck isn't anyone spending money on insuring gun owners?
Yep. Liability. Yep.
We are here because of fraud, and we want accountability. Anyone worth their salt would know how important it is to keep their weapons locked up. There are people who are saying, you can't tell me what to do because you live in a commercial and you've been sold
that you are now safer
Really?
by owning that gun. However, Moms Demand Action know they've lost children. Gays Against Guns knows that our community is targeted and murdered at higher rates, especially our trans youth and our trans women of color. We know these are lies. That's why we stand out here to protest fraud, hold people accountable. If you are a true citizen who needs to be armed, then you need to write down your name, create a registry, and tell everyone that when you are not at your best, when you are not able to be the great protector, take this gun away from me. That needs to be the sense of a gun owner, that responsibility holds much more worth than your ego.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or your cowardice. Lock up Trump.
All right, let's have a little bit more fun here because I don't want to look crazy and mad. I have a new way of not being derogatory towards people because I do not want to use the words that other people are hurt by that are so simply thrown out. 4-letter words. I'm also on a radio show on WBAI, so I know the 7 words I cannot say. So I have a new way to say this. I am from the South, and when someone acts the way that they do, like Marjorie Taylor Greene,
boo.
When someone acts the way that they do by putting an AR-15 pin
really
instead of an American flag or
disgusting.
Any other charitable thing because they want a national gun as the easiest weapon to kill as many people as possible. I will say this. It's
well regulated.
Downright tacky.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, you are just downright tacky.
Yeah.
Jim Jordan, you're just downright tacky.
Traitors.
Fox News, your makeup, your clothes, your stories, you're just downright tacky. And have committed fraud.
Traitors.
But at the end of the day, Gays Against Guns is here to remind you, whether it's glitter, whether it's speeches, whether it's silent protesters holding the space of people that have been lost to gun violence, you need to be activated as a citizen because the other citizens are armed. So you have to be an activist, and the only thing I can leave you to be armed with is empathy. Use your empathy. Be raw and emotional with people. Explain to them they do not want any more dead children due to the fact that someone has not locked up their weapon or that someone has decided to take out their hate on a public school. Hold these people accountable, but you better be activists now. It is the only way to save the country. We are in a war in slow motion. So arm yourself with empathy. It will spread. I promise you. Open up your heart to anyone and say, I have to talk to you about gun violence. I have to talk to you about trans lives. I have to talk to you about every man that has been a fraud in my life and your life, and we have to hold them accountable now, or this is not the country that we want. So stand in New York on this rock and say, fraud, fraud, fraud.
Fraud! 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 Fraud!
Fraud! Fraud! Fraud! Fraud! Fraud! Fraud! Fraud! Fraud! Fraud!
Fraud! Fraud!
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. All right. Now we can let the maggots stand around and yell themselves.
Right. All right. Well, everyone, we're live.
Jamie Bell.
Yeah, Mark C. Everyone.
Something happened inside 26 Federal Plaza.
What happened?
Jamie Bauer's going to tell us all about it.
Oh, good. Ooh, report from inside.
So everybody knows that this hearing is a sham, right?
Yes, yes.
But, and everybody knows that congressional hearings are supposed to be open to the public.
Yes, yes.
However, a group from Rise and Resist, 6 of us plus our photographer, went got online. We were in the first 15 people online. They told us we were going to be let in. And then all of a sudden at 9 o'clock, they were like, all the seats are full.
Oh, right. Of course they are.
No one from the general public in that hearing.
Because
only quote unquote victims and their handlers. Okay? So we were about 6 feet from the door of the hearing.
Jim
Because
Jordan.
we were first online. And the guy in front of us started to say, let the people in. Right? Because it's a congressional hearing. So we joined in and said, let the people in. And we held up our posters, many of which you can see here. Jim Jordan, insurrectionist. Jim Jordan traitor. 34 felonies. Jim Jordan coup plotter. And he's a sleazy liar. And
First start.
all the press came out of the hearing. And we were chanting, the hearing is a sham. And indict Jim Jordan. And Jim Jordan is a traitor.
Yes.
And
all
we
true
held
statements.
our ground for quite a while until enough DHS agents finally got behind us to get us towards the door. But there was such a press scrum there that we couldn't move. So we got to hold our ground for a few minutes more.
Good.
And then, surprisingly, when we walked to the elevators to leave, there was no one behind us except the press. And here we all are. So hats off to the intrepid activists of Rise and Resist.
Yeah. Rise and resist. Rise and resist. Rise and resist.
Disrupting Jim Jordan's sham hearing.
Right. Yes. He's a coward. Jim Jordan.
They heard us inside. They definitely heard us inside.
Nice. Well, Jim Jordan's a coward, so he's putting on a show for the Duke. So I don't know what we're looking like here. Oh, maybe I could do this. Can I change the? Yeah. Hello.
Hey!
Hi, guys.
Hello,
We're here in New York City. Mark C. came out for a visit.
Yes, I did.
Little tourist trip.
Yeah.
Where did you go? You went all over, right?
I went to see a Broadway show. I went to Yankee Stadium. I walked all over the city. And here I am today with my friend Tara.
Yes. And, we're rising and resisting.
Absolutely.
So.
You know, the Republicans love to talk about personal responsibility until they don't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
That's
I mean?
right. Well, they only stick to the personal responsibility motto when they're trying to deny children a hot lunch program or something like that.
Right.
So when it comes to taking responsibility, they are the party of irresponsibility and lawlessness.
You know, to me today, what struck me was the interconnection between poverty and gun violence and lack of housing.
Yes.
All of those things intersect.
Related. Yes, absolutely.
You know, and they want none of it. They just want to present. They just want to project this toxic masculinity, which has no place in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the joke of.
Oh, I know. It's so embarrassing. I feel so embarrassed in this country. It's madness.
Oh my God.
But yeah, they present these false solutions, they're not solutions. All they do is add fuel to the fire.
That's right.
You know, the real problems are economics.
Right.
So if they really wanted to, like we talk about abortion, if they wanted to do something about abortion, they would deal with economics.
Right.
If they wanted to do something about guns or violence or in any of the issues they pretend to stand for, they would address it with actual solutions and not just platitudes, but just more things that make it worse in the first place. It's incredible.
And then they give us thoughts and prayers.
Yes, thoughts and prayers, and then you get this false sense of so-called freedom with being able to own an assault weapon, because you're not free.
Right.
And that's the other thing we have to do is take back the definition. What is freedom? The Democrats are the party of freedom. Freedom from economic insecurity. Hope, in my dreams, right? But hopefully, they're better. They're better at it. But freedom from being massacred at at a Sweet 16 party, let's say, right? I mean, anywhere you go in this country, you're not safe, and that's not freedom. If you need freedom from your fellow Americans, you're that terrified of them that you have to walk around with an assault weapon. You need mental fucking help.
Absolutely.
You need help. And then, of course, with the mental illness they talk about, that's also absolute bullshit because they block mental health expansion, and they block health care. They block mental health care. They block mental health care in schools.
Right. If you're rich,
yes. Oh, yeah.
But if you're not, well, good luck to you. Thoughts and prayers.
Just your thoughts and prayers. And then they defend. I heard some of the Republicans talking about how, oh, well, we here in the South, we like thoughts and prayers. We defend thoughts and prayers. I mean, why don't you go to church then and leave governing for those who have, solutions, I don't know. It's just, it is an embarrassment to be an American in a country. It's just incredibly feckless that think about it. We allow children to die in schools, being massacred.
It's collateral damage of having a gun.
Exactly. We allow this, and it's the fact that the gun is so venerated by these right wingers. It's a sickness. They're absolutely sick, and that's another thing. We need to really reclaim. What is freedom?
Exactly.
What is freedom?
Well, you know what? They could take we should get Jim Jordan and his band of jackals and bring them down to Roosevelt Island, to the Four Freedoms.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Where
Beautiful.
Franklin Roosevelt, one of the best presidents this country ever saw, talked about the Four Freedoms. And one of those, which really struck me, was the freedom to exercise your religion as the way you want to, or not.
Right.
Or not.
Right.
The freedom from want. The freedom
from
have,
fear.
Freedom from fear. Exactly.
Yes.
So that's the field trip they should be taking today instead of this.
Oh, please! It's such a joke. Oh no, I don't even know what these people are talking about, but there's some. What is this? Oh, please. Some niche. Oh, what's this? Oh, okay.
I'm going to be in the city tomorrow. I'm not,
Maybe I'll go. Mark's from out of town, but we're live now, so say hi.
Yeah, Fox. We're Fox every Tuesday since August 21.
Okay.
Calling out Rupert Murdoch's lies.
Nice.
Calling out his right-wing media.
Awesome.
And,
What organization?
We are Truth Tuesdays. We're part of.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. Truth Tuesdays.
The group that just interrupted.
Yeah, awesome. But what time? What time on Tuesday?
12 to 1.
Oh, 12 to 1. Awesome.
We're one of those rare resistance groups that goes on time and stops on time.
Awesome. Maybe I'll come by. Nice to meet you.
Trial starts today.
Yeah.
And tomorrow. It was delayed.
Yeah, because it kind of sucks because I hope they're not going to settle. This is why they delayed the Fox News case has been because they're in some kind of negotiation.
Oh, I think it's because didn't their lawyer lie to the judge or something? Then they
well, that too, but I think that they're gonna. This is what I heard that they were negotiating. Well, yeah, we're on a live stream. I have a podcast, Tarabuster. This is Dan. Now we'll shake our hands. Whatever we're gonna do, we don't know what we do, how we do it now in New York. So yeah, how you doing? My name is Tara Devlin. Yeah, Tara. Yeah. I'm not. I'm from my own little show podcast, Tarabuster, unapologetic liberal talk, and we, on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy. Things that we want.
Teach our kids.
Yeah, that you think. Yeah, we're doing a live promo for Tarabuster. Anyway, we were live streaming as we were watching On YouTube currently, yeah. So. It's called Tarabuster, like filibuster. Yeah, like filibuster. Yeah. Do you have Progressive Voices?
What?
You know Progressive Voices, the app? Anyway, you gotta get it. It's on Progressive Voices. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah. That has all the has a lot of progressives on it. Well, it has all progressives. They should just call it the Normal People Network. Yes.
It's a nice apparatus.
Yeah, I need a little handle for it though. So that's one thing I didn't realize I was missing. But it's supposed to. We'll see what happens later. They no complaints so far in the chat, right?
We didn't see him go in.
No, he's a coward. He's a coward.
He came in earlier.
Yeah, they probably snuck in. I would love. They said it's going in. What time is it anyway? It's what? Anybody have the time here?
Are there pro and contra people? Contra Trump people here?
Well, there were some Trumpanzees, and you could tell them by their lack of, their inability not to scream out and say incoherent things.
Yeah,
So,
USA.
yeah, like, but just from, and then you could also tell them by their signs that look like hostage letters from, like a movie but it's all, it's like someone mentally ill, like, they kind of look like threats from the Unabomber, you know what I mean? That's how you could tell them. But they were here, so a couple of them, it's all, I don't know what they think. Like they're just going to stop and read 3 paragraphs on a sign that have all kinds of pictures and explanation points and it just betrays a sick mind. You should be able to edit that to just a concise point.
Yeah, it's frontal lobe, I think is what it's called.
Right.
I'm disappointed there weren't a lot of people here.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of I think it's because of the rain, but it may I don't know. I didn't see a lot of promotion, to tell you the truth.
Right.
So.
And Jim
Yeah.
Jordan, I mean,
he's not like
we're involved in
I got an
politics,
email
but a lot of
demanding
people.
something, and I came because of that.
Yeah. No, I know it wasn't.
He's not a marquee name like Trump is.
Right, but I did hope it would be a bit more like when Perjury Trader Green was run out of town. That was good. When everybody was screaming, she was like running, and which is the way you treat a fascist and a traitor. They should be running out of town, when you see them.
And then she can insult us from afar.
Yeah, which is what she does. Then she started posting. Yeah, she just started posting all kinds of like any little crime that was reported in the newspaper. She's like, oh, here's a crime, there's a crime. Like as if crime never had, like it should be completely no crimes ever in a city of 1.5 million people. What's that?
Are they pro Jordan or
No,
anti-Jordan?
I think they just have their one thing. So I don't know, but I mean, look at that picture of Jim Jordan. He looks like that's the communist, the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, right. So.
They're protesting. What are they protesting?
Yeah. So who knows? Jim Jordan. Look at that. That's Jim Jordan's picture that he chose himself. So to me, I wonder. You know what I mean? That's his official photo. Right.
China's got a lot worse problems than we have.
Right. Anyway. Yeah. No, I mean, Jim Jordan looks like Death of the Salesman to me, really. He looks like, he always looks like he got stuck, like he got caught in the rain, That's what he looks like. Yeah, but he's always so rumpled. And then he wears that fucking yellow tie all the time.
Yeah.
He always wears this ugly yellow tie. What's wrong with them?
No fashion sense.
Well, the thing is, Jim Jordan, just like Perjury Trader Green, they're in safe districts. Jim Jordan's district, if you see it, it is the definition of a gerrymandered district. It's like, it's fucking ridiculous. Huh?
Oh, Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan's district. That's why, like, these are safe seats. Same thing with Marjorie Perjury Trader Green.
Oh yeah. They choose the voters versus the voters choosing them.
And that's why we can never get rid of these fucking clowns.
I know.
But
doing it for decades.
Yes, and that's in
I mean,
the
this whole
John.
religious right thing is like 50 years old.
Right.
It's getting worse every year.
Yes, yes,
Powerful every year.
exactly. And but in the
Billionaires that are contributing.
well, there you go. That's why even this morning I was listening to Morning Joe, and they were like talking about how like some billionaire is withholding his contributions to fucking the fascist
I read
DeSantis
that.
because of his abortion stance, which he's a complete monster. But anyway, but there's no comment on whether that should be a thing. Like why are you talking about a donor class? Like they just say it as if it's normal.
Right.
Like, well, in the donor class, well, what are we then? The fucking plebeians? I guess so.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
Right.
That's it. So the donor, the conversation should be there should be no donor class.
Yeah.
A functioning democracy doesn't have a donor class. All things being equal, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
My $5 ain't gonna do shit against some billionaire, and there you go. So, and that's why we have money in politics. We have a.
It's the root. It really is the root of
Yes,
all of it.
yes. And then we have like Clarence Thomas, and all the complete absolute disregard for even the appearance of impropriety, breaking the law. The only law that they have at the Supreme Court, or the only rule that, well, I guess it's a law. I think it's a law, where they have to report their financial real estate things, and that he managed to break that too. So. And nothing. Where is he? Resign. He should resign. He needs, if they had integrity. But they don't,
Well, him and Alito are so right wing.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's always been about destroying democracy once and for all.
I knew we were sunk when that leak came out on the abortion thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Robert said, "We're going to find who the leaker
was."
was."
Yeah, right.
And then suddenly they
right. We did an investigation.
They checked with all of the staff people.
Yes.
They didn't check with any
of the justices.
Jurists.
Yes. That's right. That's right. Right. It's like, we asked and they said they didn't do it. So there you go. Yeah. And nobody was under oath. Nobody was sworn, So, and to say that it's sort of like the same thing with the pipe bomber on January 6th. I mean, we all say it's perjury, traitor, green. It kind of looks like her, That's a joke. I don't know. We don't know. People put videos of her next to the guy, the person who dropped the pipe bombs, and they sort of have the same gait in the way they walk. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I call her perjury, traitor Greene, because she commits perjury. Oh, I know. But anyway, so why don't they? How come they can't find that person? You would think.
They only got that very terrible picture.
Yeah, but then they have the bombs.
Covered and all that kind of
like,
stuff.
Can't they trace the material?
I know, just something, just breeds
and that's
more.
what it makes me wonder if it is actually perjury, traitor, green. And and the reason they're not doing it is because they're afraid it's gonna be so explosive or something.
Well, she was looking for a pardon. Don't forget.
Right, exactly. On her third day in office.
Jimbo here too,
right. On her third day. All right. Well, nice to meet you. Check out Tarabuster. I'll see you. All right.
Take care.
We're always doing a public service. Yes, I was going to say promo, but it is a public service too. Who's on the chat? We got some people here. So yes, we got our Tarabuster community is here. I know, isn't it amazing?
So I got to get back.
Yeah.
It's busy this weekend in New York, ironically.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, we should go eat breakfast or something. So how's everybody? Let's see. Hi. Who's on the? It's hard to see the chat. I don't see them until they flash up on the screen. Hi, Suzanne. Nice to see you, Suzanne. All right, let's stop walking in the street. All right, well, guys, listen, I guess I'll stop the stream at this point, and then hope if something happens, I will re-engage the stream. And how's that sound? Sound good to you? All right. It's a little chilly here. The weather's a little weird in New York. It's beautiful. Now it's kind of brisk. Yeah. It's a little rainy. At least it didn't thunder. They said it was going to thunderstorm, so But I would like to see Jim Jordan on his way out and scream at him or something, at least be able to scream at him.
Give him a finger or something.
Yes. Call him a traitor,
Yeah.
right? And there's some beautiful pigeons. Here's some New York pigeons, everyone. We love them. Some people call them flying rats. I do not. I appreciate pigeons. I'm a big animal lover, as you know, but I also love pigeons. And here's why. They are monogamous. Did you know that? No. And so when you see, they choose a mate for life, and the male and the female pigeons raise the chicks together. And then if you see a flock, that's a flock, so you see a bunch of pigeons, they will all hang out in a flock.
Yeah.
That's one family, usually. So they all know each other.
So morally, they're better than the
Yes,
Trumps.
they're better. Yes, they're much better.
Yeah.
Morally.
They take care of,
Yes.
they're monogamous.
That's
they
it.
Take care of their children.
And they raise their children
they don't
together.
raise their children to become
No,
psychopaths
no.
like their parents.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And I love them. Well, they also do, they keep the bugs down and all that. So, they work. They work for us, and they're good. So I like them.
New York real estate.
Yes.
And then stiff the contractors.
Yeah, exactly. They don't promise that contractors one rate, and then when they finish the job, tell them they're going to pay them a quarter of the rate, and if they don't like it, they can take them to court. This is what Trump does.
Yeah.
So that was his business model. So he's not a successful businessman. He's a crook, as we know. All right, and so pigeons are good. Don't insult them. They have more integrity than perjury trader Green. Certainly, you see, she was a serial adulterer at her gym. That's all she did was she went to the gym. Her father paid her on the family dole to go, and she went to the gym, and she had open affairs with numerous men at the gym. And
she's a businesswoman.
Yeah, but that's what she calls a businesswoman. Yeah, she's giving Georgia the business. So, all right. We live in interesting times. All right. So let's see. I guess we'll find a place to eat. And if something happens, you see Jim Jordan, or
any one of the other
any one of them. Yeah. We'll tune back in with the live stream. Otherwise, guys, remember, we will win.
Right side of history.
That's right. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out during the live stream. And this is Mark C.
I'm Mark C. Nice to see you.
Yes, and we will see you very soon. Bye. Now, how do I end this? All right. Bye-bye.